untuk kita punya apa, untuk junior awak tengok. So untuk saya tengok in the future. Okay, alright, already recorded. So the floor is yours, Ghazali.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, Assalamualaikum and good afternoon everyone from Jin 4301 class. So I am Ghazali. Ramli will be the moderator for today. So welcome to the first and only 2021 TV show between 7 groups. Please give a big clap. Thank you, my roommate. Okay, so today's discussion will cover a wide range of topics regarding the Industrial Revolution 4.0. So each group will have 10 minutes to present their ideas about the implementation of IR 4.0 in Malaysia, and then the additional 3 minutes or more to respond to a direct question from other group. And so briefly explain about IR 4.0. It is a conceptualized rapid change to the technologies, industries, and societal patterns and process in the 21st century due to the increasing interconnectivity and smart automation. So due to the emerging technologies such as automation, robotics, artificial intelligence, AI, machine-to-machine, M2M, and the Internet of Things, IoT, are changing the way the world operates. So without further ado, I would like to welcome the first group to deliver their ideas. So I will call up government group to present about their idea. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Brother Ghazali, for letting me to present for the first group as a government sector. Okay, wait, I will share my screen. Do you guys see my screen?
Yes, Jaren.
Wait. Okay. Everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, thank you for the response. Okay, we from the government sector, my name is Zahri Hafiz. We're going to tell you guys about the implementation, the benefits, the disadvantages, and how are we going to prepare in the government sector. Okay, without further ado, we will proceed this to Brother Iza to tell a little bit about IR 4.0.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Can you guys hear me?
Waalaikumsalam.
Yes.
Before digging too much deeper into the what, why, and how Industry 4.0, it's beneficial to us to first understand how exactly manufacturing has evolved since the 1800s. There are 4 distinct industrial revolution that the world either has experienced or continue to experience today. Okay, the first industrial revolution happened between the late 1700s and early 1800s. During this period of time, manufacturing evolved from focusing on manual labor performed by people and aided by work animals to a more optimized form of labor performed by people through the use of water and steam power engine and other type of machine tools. Okay. The next is the second industrial revolution. In early part of the 20th century, the world entered a second industrial revolution with the introduction of steel and use of electricity in factories. The introduction of electricity enabled manufacturers to increase efficiency and help make factory machinery more mobile. It was during this phase that mass production concepts like the assembly line were introduced as a way to boost productivity. Next is the third industrial revolution. Starting in the late 1950s, a third industrial revolution slowly began to emerge as manufacturers began incorporating more electronic and eventually computer technology into their factories. During this period, manufacturers began experiencing a shift that put less emphasis on analog and mechanical technology and more on digital technology and automation software. Okay, next is the Industrial 4.0. Industry 4.0 refer to a new phase in the industrial revolution that focus heavily on interconnectivity, automation, machine learning, and real-time data, as what Brother Ghazali said before. Industry 4.0 also sometimes refer to as IoT or smart manufacturing, marries physical production and operation with smart digital technology, machine learning, and big data to create a more holistic and better connected ecosystem for company that focus on manufacturing and supply chain management. While every company and organization operating today is different, they all face a common challenge: the need for connectedness and access to real-time insight across processes, partner, product, and people.
I'm sorry, brother Iza Fauzi.
Yep.
It's okay if you go to your points. I mean, like you can skip the history part
Okay.
and
Okay.
you can go to the standing.
So basically, this is just the introduction. My part is only the introduction. So yeah, for that, I think I can continue to my next member to start explaining the point. Thank you.
So, Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammad Hayat. So in this part, I will talk about benefits that we expected from the IR 4.0. Basically, IR 4.0 or Industrial Revolution 4.0 will affect many sectors in our concern. For example, economy, industrial, agriculture, defense, and public sectors in both ways, good and bad ways. However, the idea provides innovative solutions to address critical social and environmental challenges. In the studies that being stated in National 4IR policy, the AI technology has the potential to increase gross domestic product GDP by up to 26% over the coming decade, and 70% of the target in the United Nations towards the Sustainable Development Goals can be achieved. So the first benefits that we expected from IR 4.0 is new business opportunities and value creation, which is we expected this idea will allow our people to open up to new job opportunities with good wages that sufficient to attract quality employees. Next, the benefits that we demand or we expected to give an impact is transformation of dangerous, dirty, and difficult or 3D jobs to an efficient and lower the risk of losing lives. For example, industrial company can invent something like drone for our military scouting squad, so that as we go further into the Internet of Things and cyber security, we still strengthen our defense system. So I will pass to my friend Zikri.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Now I will continue the next second point, the benefits of IR 4.0 in the point of government. So the third benefits is the new job creation. Apprenticeship needed to create more highly skilled jobs. This is connected from the previous point, which is the dangerous, dirty, and difficulty to the job. We need people that have the ability and the knowledge in order to control such as the drone for our military scouting squad. The manufacturer report highlight by that 71% of manufacturers believe apprenticeship are fast become a real alternative to higher education to solve current high unemployment rates. The fourth point is The IR 4.0, allowing the governor to able to govern with more efficient governing system, as the workforce are no longer heavily reliant on human only, but also dependent on the artificial intelligence as well. Because IR 4.0 able to carry a lot amount of data that needed for the government. That's all for me. I would like to
Okay, thank you.
next.
Okay, next, I'm going to share about the disadvantages in the government sector, which is the first thing is cyber security risk. When everything is connected, the risk of hacking data and tampering with it or using it for malicious intent is more prevalent. What I'm telling is, when we implement this IR 4.0, it relates to AI. So the possibility of getting hacked by outside from the country higher, because we doesn't know what other country they're capable of in hacking our data, like the defense secret, or maybe about the government secret. So yeah, it's like a threat for us in terms of cybersecurity risk. The next one is inequality, which is the demand for highly skilled workers has increased, while the demand for workers with less education and lower skills decrease, and part in between them will start to wear thin. When we implement this, there will be a huge gap of demand for a job opportunity between the highly skilled workers and the low skilled workers. Because this, we need high skilled workers, because we are using a machine, autonomous industry. So this could lead to a potential of job loss. As we know, we are developing country. Malaysia is developing country. So there are technological and infrastructure challenges and skill challenges that are not easy to overcome by the government. So it's kind of obstacle for the government to overcome the job losses among the worker. Okay. Thank you. Iza Fauzi to proceed. Oh, I mean, sorry.
Disadvantage. Okay. For the another disadvantage or drawbacks of implementing IR 4.0 to the government is powerlessness. What I mean by that is governments could find themselves becoming more powerless against mega corporations such as huge conglomerates and also huge companies, because it becomes harder for the government to impose taxes and regulations on them. This is because big companies such as Tesla, MicroStrategy, and also Microsoft have been transferring a large portion of their assets into the blockchain technology, which is cryptocurrencies. So in this space, it does not have any regulation on how to impose tax to this type of new asset. So it becomes harder for the government to raise more money for their own and also to help the people. So another point is it is personal autonomy. So what I mean by that is citizens will use technology, which in this case is the blockchain technology, to seek greater autonomy for themselves. Autonomy means greater control of their lives. So introductions of blockchain technology, which is cryptocurrency, introduces new banking system and personal finance, which is called decentralized finance, or DeFi in short. So people might prefer cryptocurrencies nowadays over fiat currencies. Fiat currencies means sterling, Malaysian ringgit, US dollar, because these fiat currencies are run by central banks and are controlled by the government. So it is subjected to manipulation, corruption, and inflation of this money. So a good example of this is the El Salvador country, which in September, they have legalized Bitcoin as a legal tender in their country, which means that they have used Bitcoin as a means of transaction to buy or sell goods in their country. So a main reason why they have adopted this Bitcoin cryptocurrency to their country is because this is a way to fight the inflation from the US dollar, since their currency is backed against the US.
Okay. Sorry, government group. I think your time is up. So okay, actually I want to emphasize everyone that we all should bring all group in answering the issues on IR 4.0 in Malaysia. So all group should respectively discuss about these things, not about not only one group only telling about their points. So what I want to say is so if the government give the points, and then the one from the other group should uh, support the government, or maybe they want to what we call it, oppose the government. So is it correct, madam?
Yes, everybody will stand for their own apa group. However, from the government, I still not clear. So what's the government want to do? Just telling us advantage is advantage. So what the government want to do now? It's not clear. So ke tak habis lagi, dah habis masa.
We are going to implement this IR 4.0. Regard of the disadvantage, there will be a solution for that.
But your time is up, so we give like 1 minute extra to conclude government. So that's why timing is very important. 10 minutes sharp finish. So we give 1 extra minute. Ghazali.
Okay, so government, you can start again. I will give you 1 minute extra.
Okay, so the first is to determine. So what we have prepared for it. The first is to determine the focus point. We agree that manufacturing sector become the focus point to attain developed country status through IR 4.0. We have also discussed with Telkom Malaysia Enterprise and got several solutions in order to support IR 4.0 development, which is smart building, smart farming, and smart traffic. We also realized that this is not a cheap thing to do. The Malaysia government has budget about 210 million ringgit from 2019 to 2021 to support the country shift to IR 4.0 technology. In conclusion, implementation of IR 4.0 has already commenced in Malaysia, and the government is fully aware of the changes that need to be done. It is important to note that for IR 4.0, as it is in its early adoption stage, and therefore government must be aware of the modern world full of uncertainty and rapid changes. Thank you.
All right, thank you for the informative and interesting points. So we come to the Q&A question. Okay, anyone have any question?
Can you stop sharing the presentation and then let's the Q&A. So you can give marks also based on the Q&A of each group as well. If there's group active asking, then that should be part of your evaluation of the group. Ghazali?
Yes, madam.
Yes, you should encourage people to ask now.
Okay.
Or you.
So
yes, go on.
So anyone, I think I want to encourage the opposition to ask a question to counter their points regarding the 4.0, or anyone that oppose the point.
Okay, madam. Okay. So Assalamualaikum. So I'm from the Workers Association. So the point being said that you said about the new job creation that can solve the high employment rates. So and then the disadvantage you said that about the inequality, which the high skilled people will get a lot more jobs and the low skilled people will get less opportunity for jobs. So how do you impose? So you said about how do
You introduce yourself from which group, Ilhami?
Yes.
So can you introduce, because you are representing a group, right? Can you introduce yourself representing which group?
I've done that before, madam. So I'm presenting from the Workers Association.
Okay. Oh, saya tak dengar tadi. Okay.
Oh,
So you're
okay.
from the Workers Association. Okay.
Yes.
Workers Association is asking the government. So what's your question?
So my question is about the how do you solve the employment rates for the low skilled people?
Okay. Ghazali, do your you're supposed to make everything lively, make sure that there's no like gap, like silent gap, Ghazali. Okay.
Okay, so government, one of the representative from government, please answer the question.
Okay, I have an answer for this. Okay, so the implementation of IR 4.0, although if we implement IR 4.0 to a certain country, it is predicted that around 75 to 375 million jobs will be lost by 2030 around the globe. However, as we have mentioned earlier, highly skilled workers are required. So this requirement and also this demand can produce another form of sector to a whole to new employees, such as to conduct the machines and also to control the and also to educate the people who will be going to become the highly skilled workers. So yeah, but yeah, I think that is all.
Yes.
Something. I believe that our government has prepared the apprenticeship for the
Our government is you. You are the government.
we have prepared the apprenticeship that creates more highly skilled job, and as we didn't need to explain. We have prepared the apprenticeship program for it.
Okay, thank you, Brother Adil. I think I want to make a point. What was being asking from worker association, from my view, is the employment rate for the lower skill workers, not the higher skill workers. So based on your discussion, you only mentioned about the high skill employment, the one with the have the skills. So what about the one that didn't have any skills, and like macam makcik-makcik, like aunt or maybe uncle? So what about the employment rate for this worker? I'm concerned about it. So
do you mean from the rural area?
not actually rural area. I mean
have
the one that didn't have any high skill level. I mean the one that didn't learn about the skills. So the IR 4.0 based on the high skill level, right? Like the IoT things. So like people like the aunt or the uncle didn't have the skills, right? So
Yeah,
what
they
about
also need to eat. They have no money to buy bread and rice. So how?
Okay, for that things, the one main thing is education. So the solution for this is maybe we give them education about how to how to expose them to this newer technology. So yeah, just education. Yeah, educate them.
Yes, something. When the highly educated is employed for the more qualified job, automatically there's a space for the low what we call it, low skill employee. So
Low skill.
Low skill. What low skill? Yes. So which means we effectively use the more the high skill required employment, the more they put at the place where they're supposed to be. So they get to do their job where they're supposed to. Thus, there's what we call it, ruang pekerjaan.
Job opportunity.
There's automatically there's a job opportunity for the low employment. Yes.
Okay, next question maybe, Ghazali.
Okay, so anyone have any question to the government group? Maybe from the others group, from opposition group.
Hello, Assalamualaikum. I'm Muhammad Ashraf from the opposition group. So my question is, since IR 4.0 is focusing on automation, for example, in factories where workers are replaced by machines to operate by themselves, how do the government plan on helping those who lost their jobs due to the automation? And since you mentioned that we need education to allow them to get jobs, but since education costs money, how do they get the education since they do not have the job? That's all.
So government, please answer Brother Ashraf
Okay.
question.
Okay, about the education. Okay, for example, we back to the question. Who asked that about that makcik? How they going to find about their money? Siapa cakap ni? Soalan siapa tadi?
Brother Ashraf.
No, before Ashraf.
Ilhami.
Ilhami.
Okay. It's you know, right now everyone has phone, right, in their hands. So about the job opportunity, like you know, like makcik-makcik that they want to sell, you know, they want to make business, right? Right now, business, most of the business are using internet. So when using internet, the government we will do a campaign to encourage people to have you know, cloud business, something like that. So since everything is using internet, business, and now education also internet, and also and other things lah, kan? So we encourage them to use internet to, you know, doing their business through the online business, yeah, something like that, encouraging the people. Did I answer your question?
Yes, partly. But so it means that we do not need formal education, just through promotion.
We still need formal education. But this is an addition. I mean, like extra education for the apprenticeship, entrepreneurship, something like that. So like we make like, you know, khusus, bukan khusus, bahasa Inggeris khusus.
Courses.
Yeah, make what?
Courses.
Courses. Yeah, make a courses. Maybe, you know. So when this, if we implement a business something like this, we are encouraging people to become an entrepreneurship. And addition, we also encouraging the young people to do entrepreneur, to become an entrepreneur. Yeah, something like that.
I'm from Assalamualaikum. I'm from the academia from the university. I have a question to the government, the Prime Minister maybe of Malaysia on this. I'm very concerned on the implementation of IR 4.0 in Malaysia. Do you know, because if you cannot answer this, I will not vote you anymore, the government, because you are there because we are voting. So my question is, do you know the state of the IR currently? Where are we in terms of IR 4.0 in our industry? So do you know the state now, and how are we going from this state to the one that we want? Can you answer that?
Please, government.
Kalau kata kat parlimen tak tahu sekarang, tak payah cerita lah in the future. You don't know the current state kan. Cakap kat parlimen kan macam tu. So you the government, you should know what's happening in the country now. Before you say you should go for IR 4.0.
Madam, what's your question? Because you're lagging. I didn't get your question.
Alright, I'm lagging or you are lagging? Everybody, so I don't know. Okay, my question is, do you know what is the state of the IR 4.0 in Malaysia today in the industry? Where are we now? So where are we going? So when you say state of the IR 4.0, it's like in Germany, right? Most of the industry are already being used automation. But do you know where are we now in Malaysia in terms of IR 4.0 and how far we have to go to this wherever you want to go?
Okay, madam, let me answer this. Okay, based on our discussion with TSR Brand Malaysia, the owner of the KFC and Pizza Hut, we talked with the HR and they said today's Malaysia is going to the IR 4.0, but it's on the early stages. And the pandemic
is what, IR 2.0, 3.0, 1.0, do you know?
actually it's going to 4.0, madam.
So you're saying we are like 3.0 now?
It's already in 4.0, but in early stage, madam.
Can I add something?
Okay, sure. Maybe Brother Izam, you can help.
Okay, so in Malaysia, the state we are in is we are not still in IR 3.0 because they has for Malaysia. And however, the biggest obstacle in Malaysia is due to the internet connectivity in Malaysia because IR 4.0 requires everything to be connected to the internet.
Wow, Minister, your internet is very
So
bad.
this in terms of numbers, in terms of numbers, is it hear my voice now?
Yes. You're okay now.
Okay. So do I have to repeat what I said just now?
Very quickly, brother.
Okay. So the state Malaysia is in now is already in IR 4.0. However, the biggest obstacle that Malaysia is facing right now is the internet connectivity because everything requires everything in IR 4.0.
Yeah, it's your fault lah, the government. Why you don't
stable
put
and
internet?
also high speed to.
It's the government.
Yeah,
Maybe the previous government.
But you are the government now. You are the government. We will sack you, you know. So you should defend.
Oh.
Okay, let me. I've been talking to industry, and I think you are wrong. The government to say we are in IR 4.0. No, we are not near IR 4.0. Most of the industries here, even most of the industries here, I just spoken to a few industry. They say we are at 2.0 now. We are very far. Much of the manual labor is still there. So IR 4.0, we are very much of automation is not there. So very far from this IR 4.0. So it's like a dream. I don't know whether the government can do it or no. And what is your clear strategic plan in order to make IR 4.0 a reality? But now, because now after even one or a few years of campaigning, the industry are not there. We have a group of industries later, right? Ada kan? TV show Ghazali?
Yes,
Yeah.
I mean Board of Engineer.
We don't have industry workers kot The one in the Memang ada kat industri tak ada?
Factory owner.
Factory owner.
Factory
Yeah.
owner, yes.
So we will hear, okay. We will hear from the factory owner. I think that's enough for now. Nanti tak cukup masa. Thank
Okay.
you. Government, but get ready anytime. Anybody have a question to the government, you can.
Okay. So let's proceed to Board of Engineer. Let's hear their points about the IR 4.0.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Shukri Muhammad Talib and I will represent our role, which is Board of Engineer. So regarding the IR 4.0,
Board of Engineers, interesting. Your background is a cartoon.
kitchen
Kitchen
of engineers. Madam.
Oh, okay, okay, that's a bit funny. Okay, go on.
Okay, regarding the IR 4.0, we strongly agree with the implementation of IR 4.0 because our main purpose of engineer is to provide solution, and the IR 4.0 are currently providing most of the solution for any obstacle in Malaysia. For example lah, the easy example is apa tu? Our internet banking. For now, the internet banking implement mostly in bank, for shopping. So IR 4.0 is the what I want to say is IR 4.0 is related to big data, the Internet of Things. So anything that related to big data is also the IR 4.0. So the big benefit for that is it increase our product and service, which is it will make our sorry. So for the benefit of IR 4.0 from the engineer perspective is it increase our product and service, and then it improvise our customer experience, which is it provide opportunities to improve our service to customer and enhance the customer experience. As for example that I said before, the internet banking. So for what I can say, for the any user that want to buy something, they don't need to go to the shop anymore for now because of the COVID. So by the implementing the IR 4.0, they can just use the internet banking to buy something from the online shopping. And then regarding the benefit of IR 4.0, it also increased our knowledge sharing and collaborative working, which is what we can say in the automation industry. Many of the okay, for easy example lah, like our smartphone industry. Currently, the smartphone industry are copying each other, right? Such as from the Apple, and then Samsung slowly copy from the Apple. So it showed that the IR 4.0 emphasize on the sharing the knowledge on what we can say, sharing the user experience from I say before. So next, I will pass to Fitri for the next benefit.
Hello?
Oh, sorry, I forgot to share screen.
Okay, patutlah pelik sangat. I was thinking board of engineers have no slide. Wow, it doesn't look professional. So it should be a professional body. Okay.
Sorry, gelabah.
Okay. First time masuk TV show Ghazali. So okay. Ghazali, do your job.
Okay, so Board of Engineer, you can continue again from the last part.
Okay, we continue to the benefit part. Okay. So the is reducing cost. So becoming a smart factory does not happen overnight. Okay, and it won't happen on its own. To achieve it, you need to invest, so there are upfront costs. However, the cost of manufacturing at your facility will dramatically fall as a result of Industry 4.0 technologies, i.e. automation, system integration, data management, and more. So the second part is the higher revenues. So many of the above points can result in higher revenues for the production facility. For example, by fully automating your production line and implementing other Industry 4.0 technologies, we can add a new shift with minimal staffing cost to meet an uptick in demand or compete for a new contract. Okay, next, getting a return on investment. So Industry 4.0 technologies are transforming manufacturing across the world. The benefits of Industry 4.0 and potential return on investment are what is truly important. Though to stay competitive and equip your production line for the future. The time to think about the next stage of Industry 4.0 journey is now. Okay, so the next part is competitive advantage. Industry 4.0 smart solution and service after a wide range of competitive advantage for organization. They are able to successfully launch these new strategies and technologies. Next, I'll pass to the Sharul.
All right. Before I continue, so I want to highlight the vision of IR 4.0. So basically, IR 4.0 is very holistic automation, business information, and manufacturing execution architecture to improve industry with the integration of all aspects of production and commerce across company boundaries for greater efficiency. So the vision of I assume that all of the audience, including the speakers, mislook the vision of IR 4.0. So the vision of IR 4.0 is significantly higher productivity, efficiency, and safe managing production process, where people, machine, equipment, logistic system, and work in process component communicate and cooperate with each other directly. That's the vision of IR 4.0. So the implementation of the IR 4.0 vision is becoming possible with dramatic technology advance driven by the IoT, including open software platform and the powerful embedded processor. So IR 4.0 involve the connectivity of the cyber physical system, where the cyber physical system to describe the interaction of physical and computing, including embedded intelligence at all levels, including machine, sensor, actuators, production parts, and products that have been produced. So this CPS will be fitted with sensor, which is collect a lot of relevant data, also use QR code or RFID tag to identify different product. For example, the RFID tag can be used to identify a product faster and more accurate. More accurate. Okay. So it enables product to be mass customized according to customer requirement, and also enable better product monitoring. So before we go far into deep, we need to know that the end goal is for Malaysian industry or manufacturer to be stronger through smart technologies. Based on BEM research, the government has introduced various initiatives such as readiness assessment, intervention program, high-speed broadband connectivity to potential industrial park, and also the initiative include enhancing competence center at public higher learning institution, like the skill program, like the SG education group. This, for example, and IR 4.0 is very important for Malaysia, as it is will help in increasing the speed of innovation and also help the company in reacting to the challenges in the current market domestically and globally. So the enabling technologies will bring a new dimension to the industrial environment by changing the traditional manufacturing system to a greater efficiency, integrate and automate the operation system, and also connected the system through the internet. So the benefit of IR 4.0 is flexibility and agility. The emerging technologies in the IR 4.0 era, such as cloud operation or industrial artificial intelligence, allow for new flexible production system. So the engineer develop and test an analytical model throughout the analysis and use it to reveal the condition which the autonomous mobile robot AMR based flexible production network are more advantageous as compared to the traditional production line. For example, so the availability of technologies using artificial intelligence for positioning and navigation can support a variety of further development in the production system. For example, making use of the intelligent vehicles, or such as AMR, using AMR to obtain feasible solution in increasing the flexibility and productivity of the production system.
I'm sorry, Brother Sharul, you have exceed the time.
Okay. So we will, as for BEM, we will proceed with the latest challenges balance. So we pass to the Shukri.
I mean, it's already exceed. So
yeah, we don't even know what BM wants to do.
Yes.
You don't have.
So
you can
yes,
skip. You
because our solution based on challenges.
Yeah, but your time is up, BM. You are supposed to. So your time is up. You have. People have not got your point, so that's a problem. So you should cut everything and just go to the important part on the advantage and everything. Government already mentioned it. You don't have to mention it if other people has already mentioned it, right? We want to know specifically to Board of Engineers Malaysia. What do you do? What is your role?
So
we give you 1 minute only. Okay, Ghazali. Conclude in 1 minute.
Can conclude, Board of Engineer.
Okay, what I can conclude from our slide is that IR 4.0 bring more benefit to our developing country, which is Malaysia, because it easy for the citizen itself. For example, like the government said that.
No, just focus on your role. You are the Board of Engineers Malaysia. Everybody can say whatever you are saying just now. So as a Board of Engineers Malaysia, what is your role for the IR 4.0?
Okay, what I can say about the role of Board of Engineer is that we managing the engineer, the registered engineer to what I can say to organize their project. So we what I can say
may I add? Okay, so we engineer is to planning. We as Board of Engineer is to planning, designing, implementing, and controlling the system that enable people to use technology. So for us, like as industrial engineer, intern design system that enable people and society to improve productivity, efficiency, effectiveness, and quality. So the industrial engineer has a dual role, both to extend the human capability to operate, manage and control the overall production system, and to ensure the safety and well-being of those working in the system. That's our conclusion.
Okay, thank you, Brother Sharul. So we open for the Q&A session. Is anyone want to ask a question to Board of Engineer? If not, I have a question. So maybe based on your discussion, I'm not so sure if whether Malaysia is ready for the IR 4.0 or not. So based on your perspective, is Malaysia is ready for the implementation for IR 4.0? So I want to hear that from anyone from your group. Please.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Honestly, from our side, boss of engineer, we not yakin. Okay, we don't believe that Malaysia is ready to implement the IR 4.0. Or what we can say, Malaysia like 50% ready. Just like that.
Why are we not ready yet?
Because of the population. What I mean by population is that if we can see from the geological ecosystem in Malaysia, not all country properly developed, such as we can see from the rural area. It's not the same. It's not developing at the same rate with the city.
Whose fault is that?
Whose fault is that? Government.
Government.
So government's fault. You're not doing. The government is not working hard enough, so we have a big inequality. But board of engineers, you say you agree, you love the government just now, huh?
We just love the idea of IR 4.0, not the what the funding.
The government.
Not the government. Just idea.
Okay. All right, Ghazali. Any more questions, Ghazali?
So anyone have any more question?
Yes.
Okay, Brother Shawal.
So I'm Shawal from the representative of factory owner. So my question is, the board of engineer is like what we say.
From
we
where,
just say
Shawal? You're representing who?
factory owner.
Factory owner. Okay, go on.
Okay, so board of engineer is like the stakeholder for all the engineers in Indonesia. So in current situation like the COVID and the lack of job opportunities for the fresh grads, is there any solution or step that the board of engineer want to do to overcome this situation, since well we can say that the young generation of the engineers is the future that will lead the IR 4.0 in Indonesia. So that's all my question.
Okay, thank you, Brother Shawal. Please go ahead, Board Engineer.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So for the question that Brother Shawal say before, as from the board engineer, and this is from my experience to encourage the new the new people to embrace the IR 4.0. What I can see before, there's a organization that provide intensive class for like okay, for the current situation, which is COVID, we cannot do the physical activity, such as we handle the machine, we handle the automation and the industry, right? So most of the case that we can do now is we using the remote technology, such as database or the website or something like that. So there's an organization that this is from my my research. There's an organization that provide intensive class for any citizen that want to learn about the database, the programming part lah, and they will be paid to learn. So when I said that, is one of the funding is from the BEM, and I don't remember who is funding their project, but what I can say is that it one of the effort to encourage the young people to embrace the IR 4.0.
Okay, thank you, Board of Engineer. If anyone has any question to Board of Engineer, maybe from the economists or maybe from the civilian, want to ask?
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Nadia. I'm from civilian group. Actually, there's one thing that concerns us, the civilian. Just now you did mention on the first part of your presentation, you talk about online banking, the shopping and everything. I think the closest one to a civilian is that from my personal experience, whenever I drive my car and then I need to top up my touch and go, and it's normal to have like insufficient amount of money in my touch and go. So sometimes I have insufficient amount to pay the toll and stuff like that, and then I have to stop the car and then go to the nearest touch and go hub. Sometimes the toll doesn't have the touch and go hub. I have to walk all the way to the nearest gas station. I think that one is how can IR 4.0 improve this kind of problem?
Okay, thank you from the civilians. So I also had the same problem with the civilian. So, Boy Engineer, please answer this question. I want to hear from you guys.
Okay, from this issue, what we can say is that so Touch and Go use the technology which is the chip, right? And then the chip act as the ID. So I think for the solution to implement this with the IR 4.0 is that maybe we will replace the card with something else, such as maybe the user can slowly move to smart tag. Smart tag guna ni.
If I'm not mistaken, smart tag have to use touch and go also. And then what a civilians is concerned is about we are okay with the touch and go, but why we cannot top up during, like, why cannot I use substitute my debit card instead and not go out from my car and then go and top up, and then other cars or horn me at the back.
You mean you want to replace the to implement the touch and go function?
Why I cannot substitute the touch and go with my debit card?
Because it will related with the security issue, which is when you use the debit, it will link to the bank also, right? So the bank need to what I can say to process the
If we go online shopping also, we use our debit card. We also have option to use the e-wallet.
The online shopping has
Is that within the jurisdiction of the BEM? BEM, is it under you? The question from the because rakyat, they ask everybody, they're just rakyat, they are makcik, on the door, they don't know who to ask. So he's asking this question, is it under your jurisdiction to answer his question?
I don't think it's under our profession because we engineer just provide solution.
Yeah, of course.
So maybe this is the problem that we need the solution, right?
But for the touch and go, I think it's not under BM, it's under the government touch and go, right? Touch and go is a company under the government itself. Ada Jabatan Kerja Raya. Yes.
So maybe one side from government can answer this question. Please, the mentris, what you call the ministers. This is the problem from our civilians.
Maybe the minister already pergi luar negara ke? Tak tahu ada ke tu?
Come on, minister.
I think the solution
Wait.
is with economic group. I think they can explain more why we cannot have that in Malaysia.
But I think the Board of Engineers, I think the civilians question is valid. And as a Board of Engineers Malaysia, you should push the agenda to the government or to the right party, because civilian, they don't have right to go anywhere. So you should bring the idea. You are in the parliament, you should bring the issues of this, so and you can push the minister so that they cannot run away to solve this problem of the people, right? So we are hoping the Board of Engineers Malaysia to help that. Okay, good. I have a question from the academia again. I'm to the Board of Engineers Malaysia. One thing I'm worried. I'm teaching in the university. I have many graduates of engineers every year. They are complaining the salary of engineer is not has been the same for the past 20 years. So what have you done on this, and how we going for IR 4.0 while our engineers have no job and with a low salary? Can you answer that, Paul?
Please, Board of Engineer, answer from anyone from your group.
So the academia advisor, you said that the salary of engineer is a common problem for us. That's the answer. That's the question.
Yes, so that's question. So
Oh.
what is the role of Board of Engineers Malaysia? What do you think about this, which the salary has not changed since 20 years? So when I graduated in 2001, my starting salary was 2,500. Until now, it's 2,500. 20 years. Board of Engineers Malaysia, you are supposed to be the body that fight for the engineers of the whole of
Okay.
country.
Okay. Based on our research, we found that the Board of Engineers Malaysia has issued a press statement stating that it is a regulatory body established under the Registration of Engineer Act REA 1967 and does not participate in any debate or forum involving salary structure or scheme of service between engineer and their employers. So BEM's primary role is to protect the public in regard to health and safety by ensuring that only those who are competent and registered with the board are allowed to provide professional engineering service. So I think the question about the salary or allowance are going towards the government. That's my answer.
All right, thank you. I didn't realize it's 5 o'clock, Ghazali. So
Yes.
the debate is very interesting. So we can still discuss next class. I pass to you, Ghazali.
Okay, thank you very much for Board of Engineers Malaysia. Such an interesting point. So we will proceed to the next class. We will start with the economists. So let's hear from them next class what they will bring to counter this issue. So thank you very much, everyone. See you next time. Bye.
Tak ada buat bagi salam ke ni TV Al-Quran ke TV?
Oh, I thought from what? Luar negara TV. Oh, sorry. Okay.
Okay, tiba luar negara. While we are talking about Malaysia, suddenly TV.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Right. Okay, thank you very much, Brother Ghazali, for entertaining us for this evening. I think very interesting discussion, and we will continue inshallah next class. Those on the government and Board of Engineers Malaysia, please prepare answers still. You can still do some start research on the answers of the people there. So we, in the end, hopefully we can have a resolution on this. So let's end our class today. Till next time with the doa. Can we have one person to doa, make doa, please? Then we can end. Whose turn is it now today? Make doa.